All right, let's start off with a story from right here in Washington, D.C., where 16 restaurants in the city have been added to the prestigious Michelin Guide. Yeah, D.C. now stands for District of Cuisine. The city's got a ton of great restaurants. What a time to be alive for people who don't like to cook. Well, the new additions to and have a lot of money. The new additions to the Michelin Guide include everything from fried chicken to fusion, something for every taste bud in the city. Now, for those of you who might be unfamiliar, the Michelin Guide is a series of restaurant guidebooks for travelers and foodies that's been published by the French tire company Michelin since 1904. Yeah, that's right, Michelin, the company with the tire guy mascot. He's coming up in a second, I think. No wonder the Michelin Man looks the way he does. He been eating fine. Looks like the Michelin Man has enjoyed spending time in D.C. by the looks of these recommendations, which include restaurants like Apero, Georgia Brown's, and Delenia. Now, the city has plenty of options for good food. You might have to add a few spare tires to make room for all those meals, though. All of us, I guess, too, right? All right, let's shift gears a bit and take a trip to Capitol Hill, where a federal judge has ordered a disbarred attorney to stop filing new motions on behalf of his client, Oathkeeper Kelly Meggs. Meggs, one of the militia members accused of sedition in connection to the January 6th Capitol insurrection. So somebody needs to tell this guy that it is hard to do lawyer things once you've been disbarred. This is really like watching somebody who got fired from a job continue to show up to staff meetings and make suggestions. You want to put your hand around his throat and kick him out of the room, but you just can't. Kind of like that scene in Mean Girls. He doesn't even go here. Meg's attorney, Jonathan Mosley, was disbarred by the Circuit Court of Prince William County after it found that he violated 6 of the Virginia State Bar's rules of professional conduct. So now he's graduated to violating federal rules by continuing to file motions in court. That Oathkeeper is going to need a new lawyer. Is prepaid legal still a thing? What about the Hurt Line? Pretty sure that the Cochran firm doesn't want anything to do with this case. Dude should definitely watch more daytime TV commercials so he could maybe track down some new representation. Get on it, bro. All right, I chose this next story out of Los Angeles, California, because it is nothing short of miraculous. A teenage gamer named Jonathan Gonzalez, his life was saved when a stray bullet came buzzing in through his bedroom window and it hit the Razer gaming headset that he was wearing. That headset somehow stopped the bullet from hitting Gonzalez in the head.
This is the gaming headset that 18-year-old Jonathan Gonzalez says saved his life.
You can see the damage. It actually bent this piece of metal right here and it went through.
All right, let me start out by saying we are all thankful that Gonzalez was fortunate enough to not get hurt or killed by that stray bullet. I also need to say that kids everywhere are probably going to start using this as an excuse to keep playing video games all night long. But Mom, my life depends on it. I can literally hear those words coming out of my children's mouth. Now, this is the best advertising that Razer gaming headsets could ever ask for. Not only do they provide quality sound, they also appear to be bulletproof. Hopefully Gonzalez has a free one from the company on the way to his house right now. So the police are investigating the shooting and looking for the culprit. In the meantime, my man Jonathan needs to buy some lottery tickets because he is a very, very lucky young man. How about this last story? We picked it from Fargo, North Dakota, because it's just crazy. A Florida man, named Nathan Rodney Nelson was sentenced to 2 years in federal prison for being a Florida man in North Dakota. No, for real. Nelson is headed to the pokey for his part in stealing and reselling dozens of motorized golf carts in the upper Midwest. Well, what type of slow-speed crime spree is this? Of course he's from Florida. This is exactly on brand with most of the Florida man stories that make the show. Investigators say that Nelson stole at least 63 golf carts in 7 states, worth at least $283,000. Yo, that is a ton of golf carts, right? This man was terrorizing the country clubs. They must not have low jack for golf carts. If I owned one, I'd probably take things back in the time machine to 2005 and we put the club on the steering wheel. Y'all remember that thing? Hadn't seen that around in a while. Nelson pleaded guilty to interstate transportation of stolen property, and his sentencing calls for him to serve 3 years of supervised release and pay back about $14,000. I also hope that they put never set foot on a golf course again into the terms of his probation. For 3 years at least, golfers everywhere will no longer have to look over their shoulders on the back nine and wonder if their golf carts are still going to be there.